Cool. So I'll just
muting everybody.
Cool. So welcome, guys, to Monday Night Call. Thank you so much for jumping on. Me and Vanessa are on tonight to be leading the call and to take you guys through something that really helped us with our business. Well, not helped us, but was something that we really had to embed really quickly when we're building our business, which is sort of time management, and building this when you have the everyday life things going on, the everyday work things going on. We don't have kids, but if you've got kids, we just play lots of sports. So it's managing all that kind of stuff, and then still building a business. Like that's been a major thing. I think it's something, especially with the 90-day game plan, people can feel a little bit overwhelmed sometimes to do with what they're trying to do within Isagenix business, and then finding it really a real struggle to do all the other things as well. So just a few little tips from us about how we sort of built our business to where we are. And we'll also talk about doing info nights. So we wanted to establish this week, being week 3 of the 90-day game plan, is that this week we want you to go out and you're going to organise an info session or a tasting party or whatever for next week. So this week's going to be the organisation week, and then next week is going to be the week that you're going to be leading all your info sessions or tasting parties or whatever you're going to come up with. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But yeah, let's start and go through there.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Calv. So, just wanted to start off with a little bit about the time management and, how you fit your Isagenix business into the pockets of your life, because we've had a few people in our business come to us in the last couple of weeks and just say, we're quite overwhelmed with everything that's going on, all the recommendations that are put out there. As you all know, Isagenix has so many tools that we can plug into, which is amazing, so amazing. But to a new person, sometimes that can be quite overwhelming. So a few tips that I had given those people were to...
Well, hang on. We'll just tell a little bit about our story first, to kind of give you guys the idea of like where we're coming from and why this is so important. So, you want to go first? Or?
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Cal. Got a bit off track there. So for us, Kelvin mentioned a little bit before that, we had a lot going on in our lives 2.5 years ago when we first started. So, we play a lot of sport for Taranaki and New Zealand for our clubs. We love to socialise, catch up with people. We were working usually 50-hour work weeks each, and trying to fit all of those things in, plus bringing Isagenix on board was, quite overwhelming at the start. But we had a vision. I guess Kelvin really saw the vision of what Isagenix could do for our lives and how much time it could actually give us now. It took me a little while to really catch on, and I gradually did through going and getting to events.
I guess I'll just explain where we kind of started. So,
yeah.
And then we'll go from there. So when we started, like as Vanessa mentioned, we were all working a lot and with sport and everything like that. So I pretty much got started 2.5 years ago just because I was looking for something to help me with recovery. I was looking for more energy and I was pretty much just tired all the time and not sleeping very well. So Adam talked to me, I just had a look through everything, and at the time I was pretty busy as well, and it sort of took me about 3 weeks to have a look at a bit of information and then making the decision to jump on board. Now, for me, it was kind of like a light bulb moment straight away. It was never like, 6 months down the track, a year down the track, that I finally decided to build the business. It was more deciding to build the business from the get-go, but doing it in a very different way to, after it took me about 6 months to sort of find my rhythm. Coupled with that, as Vanessa said, training for rugby 2 nights a week. I was surfing 3 or 4 days a week, then playing rugby, so Saturdays were out, working 50 hours a week, and then just lots of different little other things that tended to pop up. Vanessa will explain a little bit herself, but Vanessa mainly jumped on at the start for the products, and for about 12 months to 14 months just used the products. Now, and a lot of the time Vanessa was very busy, and I was always saying, yeah, can you jump on board? I've got a lot of your friends, like a lot of your friends I know would be awesome at this business, and let's have a chat to them. Vanessa can sort of explain a little bit from her point of view, but at the end of the day, I just really wanted to spend more time with my partner. We got to the stage where we were doing all these other things, working and playing sport and, socializing, seeing our friends, keeping up with our family, doing all this other stuff that we're only actually spending about 10 hours a week together, not counting like sleeping time. So 10 hours of quality time together, that just really kind of doesn't cut the mustard with me. I was kind of, I want to see my partner more. And so that was a reason we sort of I went really quickly, was to spend more time with this one here.
Yeah.
So do you want to explain a little bit more about you working and
kind
of stresses?
Sorry, I jumped
had?
the gun a little bit before. I forgot that not everybody actually knows our story on this call. So I jumped on for the products and loved them. Shared with a few friends, but wasn't interested in network marketing at all. Partly because I think I definitely cared what other people thought of me. I had made up the story in my mind that, people may think I'm weird. They may not want to be friends with me. They may not invite me out to something if I was, doing isogenics so I made up a lot of stories in my mind, and it just wasn't the case. I know a lot of people feel like that when they first start. And just one thing that I did was get to events. And after a while, I got to an event. Kelvin really had to get me there.
Vanessa's first corporate event, guys, was the Isogenics celebration in Las Vegas last year.
Yeah, so I wasn't not going to Vegas.
Yeah, so we had the Derby, and I was pretty much doing the whole Derby, and then we won the trip, and then Vanessa came to Las Vegas and somehow caught the vision. I don't know how, like a trip to Las Vegas, 5-star, all expenses paid, and all everything that goes at the Isogenics celebration. It was just amazing. So after that, Vanessa really sort of seen what this could do for us, and sort of jumped into it a little bit more. But do you just want to explain a little bit about, because I really feel that's a big thing about your working environment, because I was working for myself. This is the thing. I was working for myself. Yes. I was going to schools and very busy, doing a lot of driving and stuff like that, but I was working for myself. Vanessa was in an employment and operation environment. It's like corporate sporting environment. And just explain a little bit about some of this. I think stresses and sort of the things that Vanessa would get for every week.
I think, every day I was getting a bit of slack from the other employees, and I love
how much work you were
doing. How much work, yeah. So, I was doing 40 hours a week in the office, but then also on the weekends and after work time, I was also going and, committing to meetings and so I had a basketball job, trials, and I really felt like I had to prove something in my job, and to everybody in the basketball community, because it was a new role, and I was getting a bit of slack, them asking, like, what do you actually do in the first few months of my employment. So as like anyone would do, you kind of try to prove yourself, and then so I was just making so much work for myself that I was working so much on the weekends, and all the time. So I think that was where that came into play.
And you're a bit of a yes lady. Has anyone ever seen the movie Yes Man with Jim Carrey? Yes Man. So anyway, in this movie, he goes to a seminar and they're just open to saying yes to everything. Well, and at the end of the movie, the guy comes back and says, no, you're only supposed to say yes to the things that you actually want to do. And so that was Vanessa just saying yes to absolutely everything. Hey, Vanessa, can you come do this meeting at like 7 o'clock on a Sunday? Yeah, sweet. And then get home at 11 o'clock at night, and just stuff like that. Or, hey, do you want to coach 3 development basketball teams, even though you're already working 60 hours a week? Yeah, sure, I'll do that. So those kind of things. So when we got started into this, and I really saw that this was a vision for us to spend more time together, it was a lot of hard work to actually get to the point where we are at now, where we're actually spending time together. It took us over 2 years, guys. It took us over 2 years from that point to actually now spending every day with each other. So it was probably about 2 years, 2 months before that point where we're actually spending every day together. So I just want to make that really clear. Like, we were really busy at the start, but we've still built this over the last 2 years while working 2.5 years, to the point where now we can spend every day together, and so can everyone else. Like, it's a very key thing that, it's, when we're all busy, it's like, if you want to build this and you're busy, there's so many examples of people that are busy and building this. So that's the point I just really want to make, is how busy we actually were when we first started this. And I think the main thing for me, like, I could schedule my time all the time, and that was the biggest thing at the start, was just scheduling those times in to do isogenics when I had space, or when I had lunch times or anything like that, just squeezing a call in, or jumping on a podcast and listening. And I'll tell you what, guys, driving is the best time to do calls. Like, if you've got hands free, obviously. I don't want to see anyone like driving down the road, yeah, Kelvin told me to do this, so I'm on my calls on the phone. No, if you got hands free, yeah, do it. And listening to podcasts, I swear to God, listening to podcasts and doing calls in the car when you're driving, it's the best time, because that's all you've got to do. There's no distractions of like a butterfly flying around outside, or something in the kitchen, or what's on TV. I might not just do my call until after this. That's all you've got to do, is like either listen to the radio or do a call. So you might as well do a call.
Yeah, so I guess what Kelvin's saying is that you do have those times in your day that you can squeeze in those type of things, whether you're listening to a podcast and upskilling yourself. Like, for example, if I was doing some data entry or something, I'd listen to a podcast at work, just plug your headphones in. At the gym, just, put your headphones in. At lunch times, instead of sitting with your workmates and just having lunch, I would be on my computer messaging people, following up with people, talking to people. When I was supposed to be working, I would have a 3-way call with someone booked in, whether it was with Adam or Bianca or Kelvin, and I would go and sit in the work car and do a call from the work car, or I would drive around the corner and do a call in the car and then log it as going to get some basketballs or something. So yeah, I was you got to do whatever.
We're kind of finding, we've kind of been. Yeah,
I don't recommend that.
Yeah, we're being really sneaky, and I think that was the thing. Like, how sneaky were we wanting to be to spend more time with each other. You know, like I've talked to lots of people who go to work and then they'll go to the toilet, and people actually ask them, like, they've been in the toilet for like 3 times or 4 times in the last half an hour, and they're like, are you all right? You need to keep going to the toilet. But it's those little things, finding those little points in your life where you have to reply or you have to get on that call, and just doing it because your why is big enough to do that. And it kind of got to the point where, because I was sharing, and use your work time as well. Please, Todd is a classic example of using his work time to get all his workmates on board Isogenics. So one very big thing about that is use your work time. If you're going to work, use that to talk to people. People are going to be seeing how amazing you're looking and how much energy you have. That's what changed a lot of the things for both of us, and we're going into our work environments. I got to the point though where I was talking to people during my work hours about Isogenics, and I got to the point where I wasn't actually allowed. I was told from my contract providers that I wasn't allowed to mention Isogenics while I was on site and working in the job that I was working. So that kind of threw that out the window, and that was another kind of curveball that made me really buckle down and use that time wisely, and use all the scheduling things that Isogenics gives us wisely. And the first thing is, have you got that piece of paper? 9-day game plan paper?
Yeah. We talked about it on the first call. So it's the...
Oh, yeah. So in your book, guys, like when I'm doing 90-day game plans, and this is one of my favorite things. Cool. That's not the one. Oh, that's different. Okay, sorry. Carry on. Hold that thought.
Kelvin will look, and I'll...
Oh, here it is. Okay. So the schedule. I don't know if anyone can see that. The sample schedule. So it's about blocking out times, okay? This was my favorite go-to tool whenever I start a 9-day game plan, because it allowed me just to block out times, and then move that to we've got 2 of these, our ISA diaries, okay? Allowed us to block out times in our ISA diaries. Now, my favorite thing is that blocking out times, and then, you know, having those times blocked out, and then saying to people, you know, well, it's not my favorite thing, but, you know, oh, look, I'm busy then. I need a schedule. What page was it? 47. Like, if someone would call me and they'd say, hey, can you do something at 3 o'clock? Oh, no, I'm booked in. I'm working on my business project, my action plan. Oh, what's that? You know, what is that thing you're doing? Oh, it's part of my Isogenics business, or it's part of, you know, it's part of my online business, part of my health and wellness business. Can I book you in for a different time? So immediately you're getting people that are respecting your time, and you're respecting your own time because you've got something blocked out. If you've got a time blocked out for a call that you want to be able to call people in your team, you've got a time blocked out that you want to call and follow up with people, see how they're going. You want to follow up with people that have been interested in the products, or you just generally want to call up one of your friends and have a chat for an hour. And, you know, sometimes that can lead into Isogenics. Block that out. Block it out and be respectful of your own time, and people will start respecting your time a lot more as well. It was something that I had never done before, and when came across that sample schedule, I was like, well, this is awesome. Like, I can use this and sort of block out those points in our life. So yeah, we really use it.
Yeah, and I love the quote I learned a couple of years ago. If you don't own your time, somebody else will.
Yeah.
And that's what was happening to me. So I would have, you know, this much time in the day. I wasn't respecting or taking control of my own time. And so these people in the basketball community, my job, they were taking that time, and I let them. So that's an important thing to take note of during this 90-day plan. Another thing that I have found useful during my last 90-day action plan was obviously, like, you can write things down, but I love to use the spreadsheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the screen with you guys.
Yeah, just go share screen.
Share screen. Okay. I actually just remembered about this the last couple of days, so I haven't filled anything out. I've just downloaded it tonight, but you know, got to do it now. So what I've done here is it's a mastery list. So I've downloaded all my friends from Facebook. I'll show you guys. I can put this up on the page. So I'll just go over it quickly now, but there's an instructions page here that shows you guys how to do it. So I'll just quickly go over it now, and then you guys can look through it later if you like. So I've downloaded all my friends from Facebook. Okay, there's nearly 2,000 of them. Popular, I know. No. So you talk to somebody, okay? I've actually just put these two in myself. So, you know, some people you just catch up with, you don't really mention, there's not the opportunity to mention Isogenics, but I'm still going to put them into
a lot of people generally
format.
ask, so, and you might not actually say the word Isogenics, but you're mentioning something about it. Every single person I catch up with, it's a conversation either about Isogenics or something that I'm doing around my online business or my health, or just little things. So when Vanessa says you may not be catching up for about Isogenics, I can guarantee you're going to say something about your online business or about that. It only has to be a couple of sentences, but at least you've dropped that in there. Okay, and make sure you do that every single time. It's very important.
Planting the seeds.
Planting the seed.
All right, so when I talk to someone, catch up with them, I'm just going to put in a little colour there. So if they're already in Isogenics, I'm just going to put for example, I'm just going to block them out like this. And if I talk to somebody about Isogenics, I've added them to the page, you know, may have organised a 3-way call with them or just a call to tell them a bit more. You know, there's quite often that people don't join straight away, you know, for whatever reason. So what you do is then, hey, Jason, right. Okay, yep, he's interested. They may be, they may not be. Okay, and then I copy that and it goes into the follow-up list. Okay, so, you know, you may follow up with them 4 days later, a week later. Does anyone know how many follow-ups it takes on average for somebody to start up?
Yeah, Matt, you're pretty
10.
bang on.
Yeah.
So it's, guys, between 85% of people get started between the 8th and 20th follow-up. 85% of people.
Yeah.
So imagine if you only talked to a person 7 times and they got started on the 8th.
So
to be fair, imagine if you talked to them 70 times and they got started on the 71st. You know, you never know.
And some people it's taken them 20 follow-ups to enroll someone that's then gone on to be, you know, an Isogenics millionaire. So following up is where, you know, the magic happens. So this is really good for that. You can go down your list, see that. Your associates you can put in there, consultant, manager, director, executive, and put all your associates in there. There's an instructions sheet on how to do all this. So I can get Rach or Josh says to put this into your page. I know that it's in the complete lifestyle page in one of the folders there.
In the files section.
In the files section. Cool. So
what Vanessa did in downloading all her friends and then straight on the spreadsheet, and then she's got the instructions of how to do all this. So.
To do from there. And you can make it your own, you know. I've kind of put some extra little bits in there that I would find useful. So, yeah, make it your own. I'll just go back to...
Stop sharing.
Yeah. Okay, so a few little tips in there. One thing is as well, I know that in the 90-day game plan, everything can be a little bit overwhelming. So many different things going on. And I think sometimes we forget to do the income producing activities, which is pretty much just talking to people, so it's important to, one, record everything you do, and just when you can, in those pockets of your time that we were talking about, make sure that you're talking to people, following up with people. Does everybody know the 333 equation? Yeah, put your hand up if you do. Okay, so so about half of you. The 333 is something, so it's a bit of an equation that they use, and they really drum into people. So 3 people that you connect with a day, 3 people that you follow up with a day, and 3 people that you pour love into a day. So people in your team that you pour love into. It may be someone that you've enrolled, or it may even be someone, that you've looked down your tree that you haven't connected with before, and, just to say hi and how's everything going. So doing that every single day consistently. And I found that doing that's what I did over the Derby period, and that's what I'm doing for this 90 days, and it's just so beneficial, and it's just keeping consistent. But I think also with that 333 is, if you can't do that, if you are struggling to find the time, because people apply and everything, if you're struggling to find the time, do 222 or even 111. And that's something that I had said to Lisa Meredith this week sometime, because she was saying she's overwhelmed by everything, to just do that 111 a day. And I guarantee you will find your network growing, you'll find your business growing. Very good English. And it's just the best, I think, and to keep consistent in doing that. It's gold. And then from doing that, I then put it into that Excel spreadsheet, and boom.
Yeah, so I guess the main thing we really wanted to say, guys, is that there is a lot of things that people say to do. There is this is one thing that helped me out. Doesn't mean it's going to help you out. I'm a person who likes to see everything and schedule my time. I like doing that. If you don't like doing that, that's fine. There's a lot of waffle that happens in isogenics where people think that they have to be doing all this stuff, and I have to comment on all that, and I have to look at this, and then I have to go and I'll write it all in, and then I have to put it all in the spreadsheet. You don't have to do any of this, guys. If you're doing all of that and not talking to anyone, then it's a waste of time. Okay? So the number one thing that everyone just has to do that is going to save you more time than anything is just talk to people. Just talk to people and write down their name. Okay. Later on down the track, you can start doing all this. We've got to the point where we've found it easier, and this is our rhythm, and that's our flow. If that's not working for you guys, please don't do it.
And I think that's really important, because at the start, when I first started and I wanted to do this business, I was so confused, because different leaders were telling me, were saying how they did it, and it was so different. And I just was like, whoa, what? And I think that's something I really want to tell everybody on this call, was that, find your own way, and it won't look like anybody else's. So, I think leaders tell you different ways that how they like to do it, but you don't have to do that.
Oh, by all means, there's nothing that you have to do except talk to people and share this incredible gift. That's the number one thing, guys. Okay, number one thing. Podcasts and everything and all that kind of stuff, and the scheduling like we do. Yeah, it's important. It's important to have have a flowing business, and you get that as you go. But number one thing is just talking to people, and this is the time to talk to people, guys. Summer's coming in New Zealand, winter's coming in the UK. Like, this is the perfect time to talk to people. So just make sure you're talking to people, and please write down their name, because you're not going to remember anyone if you don't. So the things we wanted to really cover in this first part of the call was just, guys, like, structure, you can have it. Okay, most of it's quite messy. This whole business is quite messy. Like, you should see our office right now. It's just crap everywhere. Okay, so yeah, just make sure you're just trying to get in a structure that works for you. Okay, so that you can put everyone's names down. Like I said, that scheduling made it easier for me. It doesn't mean it's going to be easier for you. But again, number one thing, just talk to more people, guys. You know, your brother, your sister, your mailman, you know, someone at the supermarket, just your neighbour, whoever. Just talk to everyone, because if they can feel how good you feel, then it's going to make the world a better place. So just keep talking to more people. That's what this 90-day game plan is about. Okay?
Yeah.
So should we move on?
Natty, I think, did you want me to share how you download your Facebook friends? Or...
Yeah, she said that before.
Yeah, and could I ask a question?
Yeah,
also,
absolutely.
Please? I remember, Ness, last time you shared about how, I think it was last time, how how Adam said to you when you were living with them, I think it was it you or maybe Rach, that you were hiding behind the screen?
Yeah. Well, they come and visit all the time.
Yeah. Anyway, the logistics doesn't matter, but I remember him saying, you sharing that he said you were hiding behind the screen a lot and you weren't making calls. I get out a lot when my stepson's here and meet lots of mums. And, you know, I talk to people in the supermarket. I added a lady when we were at Temple Bowling today, although it felt a bit weird, but I went for it. What I'm trying to ask is, like, when I have days where I'm at home and I'm not out meeting people, I do find it's easy to send voice messages or message people. But when it comes to just like calling people, is it important that you do that a lot? Like,
I just randomly call people. Yeah, I find it really easy just randomly calling people and just chatting about something. So I'll call them up to chat about isogenics, but I'll just call someone for no reason, saying, "Hey, how's your day going? What are you up to? Keen for a surf, or keen to kick the ball around, or whatever." But it's creating that appointment to catch up with someone, or you don't. Or what are you doing? Do you want to catch up for a coffee?
Yeah. So trying to. I mean, the best way in this business is definitely face to face, belly to belly, for sure. But if you're at home, calls are ultimate, and three-way calls are the best, especially if you're just learning. What I was doing was, someone would message me and they'd be like, "I'm interested," or I would even, get the conversation to them saying, "Okay, what is this about?" And then I would answer in a message. So I would write it all out. And because I had a fear of talking to people on the phone. Like, I always have my whole life. I've been like, "Mum, can you call the pizza man?" or "Can you call this person?" Which is terrible. Like, you can't get away with that in network marketing. So, I had to learn to, one, get out of my comfort zone, and two, learn, a structure of how I would want to do a call. So have you heard of the cake recipe for the why?
Yeah, and I've done all of that. It was more just the whole, like, calling people out of the blue. And I think, Kelvin, you both answered it really well, but it's just the connecting. And then, like you say, it authentically comes up. Like, I just realized today, I called my mum to talk about my nana who's going into a rest home. And then we got on to me telling her I'd left my job and was choosing to do isogenics full time. And I didn't call to talk to her about that. Yeah. So I get that. It's about not being weird and just calling and letting that
you're not
authentically.
Calling intentionally to talk about isogenics. You're just calling to see something. And it will come around. Like, even if you're just it's like booking an appointment. You're calling someone that you haven't seen for ages. So, hey, let's catch up and go and grab coffee. You're not going, hey, I'm doing this new thing and I'd really like you to take a look at it. Can I send you a video?
So you don't, I guess that's what I was asking, because I've done network marketing before and that was kind of it. And to me, that's just like, ooh.
It's weird,
like, hey, haven't talked to you in 25 years. Well, I'm not. Okay, that'd make me one, but I haven't talked to you in years, but come check out my amazing thing that I think you'd love. Like, I've done that and I'm just like, oh.
No, I honestly find it so weird. And like, I actually got a message last night, and it was a mate of mine, and he just said, "Hey mate, how are you?" And I was like, "Yeah, good." And he's like, I won't keep you, but are you interested in making some more money? I was like, "I'm not interested in making more money." What do you mean? And he said, "Oh well, I've got this thing." So I was like, "Oh no, look, I'm all good with what I'm doing." Blah, blah, blah. But I'm keen to catch up for a coffee. Whenever you're around, let me know how your thing goes. So I just switched around and booked an appointment with him, where he just messaged me straight up for me to get on his team call. But I brushed that off and said, no, let's go for a coffee, because then I know Isogenics or something like that will come up at some point. It's not, I don't call people and just go, hey, do you want to have a look at my thing? It's really cool, and you can earn a lot of money from it. Because if it seems weird to me, I'm not going to say that's one of my friends or some people that.
Yeah.
So I just call people up and chat, and like I might chat to them for 10 minutes and just say, look, let's catch up and grab a coffee. I never mention Isogenics, but
I mean, I see it as catching up to the point and knowing how Isogenics can help them. And that may not come up straight away, but at least you're building up that trust and honesty and friendship, because that's what this is all about. And if they do end up joining, you want to have that friendship, that relationship where they can ask you questions, they can feel comfortable in coming to you and being like, oh, I'm feeling ill, or what do I do in this situation, or so it's you want to do that. And I think I guess like that kind of answers your question, but for me,
totally.
I was hiding behind the computer typing out what, like, all about
cake recipe,
instead of just being like, oh hey, like writing, hey, yeah, I'll tell you about it on a call, and then they'll be like, okay, yeah, he's on it, kind of thing. So I was just making it hard for myself.
Cool. No, that answers it beautifully. Thanks for letting me.
Cool,
I hope people got value out of that.
Guys, but yeah, don't be afraid to pick up the phone and just call people. Like, and it sounds weird, and people like sometimes like, what are you calling me for? And you're just like, when you first start, and you're just like, oh, I just wanted to chat. You're like, oh, okay. But like, if you've got an intention in mind, please don't ring everyone up on one day and say, hey, yeah, let's go on a coffee date, and then you book all those coffee dates on the same day, because you'll be high as heck on caffeine by the end of the day. And you don't want to have like 8 meetings and have 8 coffees. It's kind of weird. But just like, call people up and say, hey, do you want to go for a run? Or, hey, what are you doing? Just be proactive in getting out there and meeting. Getting that, like, booking those times, calling people up, and if you've only got 2 minutes to spare, call someone up and book a tea party or something. I don't know, to go for a drink, whatever. But something will come up. Something will come up that you want to actually see that person and be in that thing. They actually want to see this person. If you don't really want to see them, don't call them.
No.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to be honest and open about this. Like, if you really want to see someone and you want to talk to them about Isogenics, then give them a call. Don't mention Isogenics, but call them and set like a date at an appointment, a coffee, a catch up at the gym, a run, whatever. Just book something with them. And then you can talk to them about Isogenics if it comes up.
Yeah, so Kelvin still thinks he's in London.
Tea party.
Tea party and a scone.
And all my rugby mates always come around. What are you talking about?
Linda loves those tea parties.
Cool. So, yeah, we'll kind of move on a little bit from there, but I hope that kind of helps everyone. Like we never had a lot of time, guys, and honestly, using the excuse that you don't have a lot of time is just that, an excuse, because like we talked about, we're working 50, 60 hours a week. Like I know other people are. We don't have kids, but we played sport. It's just like, it doesn't matter. Whatever your time's being used up by, it's being used up somewhere, and sometimes we don't have a lot of time. So don't waste your time doing things that don't matter. All you have to do is talk to people. So I don't like the excuse of I don't have time, because neither did we. But we still built this business to where we are today.
And that thing that you might be sacrificing now, you can do excuse my language, but a shitload later on when you have financial and time freedom.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. I guess in the next part that we really wanted to talk about over this 90-day game plan is, we can be doing calls, we can be like talking to people, that's awesome. But I know you guys don't have a lot of time. The best way around that is to do info sessions, tasting parties, reveal nights. So, for example, I was talking to a girl in our team, Jess. I think she's on the call now, maybe. Today. She's got 4 kids. She works 30 plus hours a week. She doesn't have a lot of time. So the best way to get to talk to as many people at one time is to do a tasting or info session. So for Jess, for example, her first 16 weeks of isogenics, the end of her IsoBody challenge is coming up. So it finishes in November. So I said the perfect time to do a reveal night. So it's just a different way to do it, a different way of marketing, a tasting session or info session, a reveal night, having Jess tell her friends and family, where she's got to and what isogenics has done for her, is a great way to do it. And, to market it like that, I think friends and family will come along because they want to see a reveal night. Like, I'd be like, yeah, let's go, and support that person. Just an idea there.
Whatever you guys want to do. So this week we're putting it all out to your kind of tasks this week is to set a info session for next week, an info session, reveal night, tasting party, whatever you want to do. Please talk to the person who got you started, or talk to some other people in your team or whatever. Get a group you together. So if you want to talk to us about coming along, supporting you. You want to have a couple of team members, but then you also want to go out and then we're going to invite lots of people along. If it's your house, you might want to have 10 to 20 people come, however many people you want to come to your info session, but it's about calling those people and getting them to come along. I always just say to people, hey, I've got this info. I say, hey, what are you up to on Wednesday night? People usually always go, oh, I'm not doing anything. Why is that? You go, oh, sweet. Can you come along to my my info night on Wednesday night at 7:00 since you're not up to anything? Okay. Well, as my friend, could you just please come along and support me? If you say those words, as my friend, can you please just come along and support me? No one's going to go, no, I don't really want to do that. They're going to go, oh, yeah, as your friend, I'll come along and support you. And then they get a hell of a lot of information anyway. So even if they don't want to come, just say those words and, they'll usually say, oh, yeah, I'll come along and support you. Sometimes you can say that and they still don't turn up. So that's okay as well, I guess.
Well, they're not very good friends then, are they, Nat? Yes. Well, okay, sorry. They are. That's what I mean. But.
Yeah, so, guys, something to say and then have those people come along. If they don't come along, that's okay. Something might have come up. Leg might have got blown off. Who knows? You don't know. So that's just how I've got people to come along to events. and info sessions we're having. The numbers sort of look like this. If you call 100 people, maybe 20 will turn up. Okay? If you get 100 people there, well, yeah, you're doing really well. But, you know, in the past I've held info nights, big info nights, and biggest one I've ever had, we had 40 people there into our room. I called 200 people to get 40 people there.
And called, like, it wasn't just a message on Facebook.
No, it was called for 2 to 5 minutes and said, hey, is my friend, would you come along and support me? 80 to 90 of them said, yep, sweet. And then, you know, 40-ish turned up. Okay? So that's sort of what we're aiming for this week, is for you guys to go out and organise your whatever party for next week. Okay? Now, the way we want to talk about, because there's a lot of people from same teams and everything like this as well, is write in your chats or on your team business page when you're going to have your info night, and actually owning that time. Hey guys, I've scheduled it in your whatever your business page is called. Hey guys, or actually do it in your health page as well. Hey guys, I've scheduled info tasting night at mine on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. You're all welcome. Okay, so at least you've booked your spot. Now, here's the thing. No one else can take that Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Someone else has got to go to another time. Okay, so make sure that you're writing that in so everyone knows when your info session is. And yeah, you can work it all on there. And then you're not getting cross launch parties going on. So you don't want the same people in your team putting one on and it's at the same time as your one. So support each other, try and have different days. Okay?
Cool. Yeah, sorry, Linda. I don't know if many of us will be coming over to the UK. I wish. That'd be nice. But yeah.
Adam and B are there though, so book them in.
You guys have a lot of people there.
One day. Never say never.
That's it.
Yeah, true. Awesome.
You're always welcome.
Next time we're over, we'll pop down.
So that's awesome. So it's another just a task to do, and if you do this, do as many of these nights that you can. It's just so good for using your time wisely, and continuously do them as well. Don't just have one. You might organize Wellness Wednesday and do one the first Wednesday of every month or something like that, so people know that it's happening.
Yeah, but we're booking this in for next week.
Yeah, so this is just this one that, just start off with this one, and then obviously you can progress from there. So does anyone have any questions about that? Queenstown? Ooh. Yeah.
We won't make it next week, sorry. No.
Yeah, I'm keen to come down though. I really want to.
We'll be down early next month.
Yeah, really want to come down Queenstown. So we'll let you know when we come.
Yeah, and guys, don't be afraid to book us in to come and do something in New Zealand. That's where we are at the moment. So we'd love to come down and do info sessions or nights or whatever. So just make sure you book us in so we can sort something out to get to wherever you are.
And I know everyone's in different, everyone's kind of in different places, but yeah, if you can invite people from different teams, the more the merrier for sure. So,
but does anyone have any questions about anything we covered tonight, guys?
Or any comments on how the 90-day action plan's going? Are you struggling with anything?
All good.
How's it?
Well, sweet as, guys. Well, I think we'll leave it there, even though a couple of minutes early. But that's perfect, because we're doing really good time. Nat, did you want to say?
Can I stay on and ask one, if that's all right? Ask a question.
Yeah, of course. Oh, good. Well, we'll sort of end the call there, guys. But
why doesn't she just ask? If you want to hop off, you can. But Nat, go ahead and ask, just in case everyone else wants to hear.
Okay. Yeah, if you need to go, feel free to. I feel like I've been hogging. It must be the Free the Best You call that got me fired up.
Yeah.
So if someone doesn't want to get on a call, I remember Cez saying ages ago, don't force it. Like,
no way.
You can't do that. physically. It'd be weird, but and illegal. But if someone is unwilling to get on a call, which is what happened with me with the lady that I was putting a three-way message with this weekend just gone, what I've done is like many different ways. Often they ask for the prices straight away, and I've stupidly given that to them before, and then it's been like, oh, too expensive. So this time around I told myself like I'm going to go through the cake recipe. And so I did. And then when it got to obviously it's very different in Messenger versus when they can hear you, and I left voice messages and that sort of thing, but I got one of the funniest responses, so I'd just love some advice from everyone in the team. So after I said, because she said she wants to lose 15 to 20 kgs, which is a massive goal. She's a mum of 3, 2 little twins. They're all really young kids. And she said, after I said like, what did I say? How long have you felt this way about having low energy and the extra weight, which were her words. She goes, hi Natalie, are these questions you have to ask before selling a product for info you pass on to Isagenix? Or is it because somehow knowing the answer of how long I've been overweight helps you choose which products? I'd really prefer just to know products and prices. Please, sorry if that sounds too blunt, but I just need to lose weight and get energy boost whilst working full time and have 3 small kids with no time for exercise. I hope that's enough info for you to be able to tell me products and prices, please.
Yes, very nice. So
I'd give it to them. I'd just give it to them, to be honest. Like, there's no point beating around the bush trying to ask questions. They're just going to go to somebody else. So,
well, that's the thing. Like, I left a voice message saying that for me, it's not selling, and that I was actually potentially making a massive difference to her, which is how I see it. And so I didn't want to just shoot her a price list, because to me, that's not how I like to do it. But I said, of course, if you've got any questions, I'll answer it. And I said, I'm sorry if I've offended you in any way. I don't know this person. She was just referred through a friend who was previously doing Isagenix.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's sensitive for her. I totally get that. But I just thought in that instance, she's like, I've sent voice messages and then said, I hope you can hear that, because she couldn't hear my voice messages before. Let me know if not, blah, 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 blah. And she's not got back to me. And I know she said to me, someone from her work does it. So now what I'm fearful of is she'll go to work tomorrow, ask her friend, and her friend will go, oh, I can hook you up.
Yes,
but I can't.
I would just, this is a lesson I learned early on, and it's really simple, this business. Like, it is really super simple. It's hard work, but it is super simple. And, when people, a big thing about what we do is just listening. So it's kind of like sometimes we want to like actually get down to their why and stuff like that. But sometimes that's not what they actually ask for or want. They just want
what they're ready for as well. Like, she doesn't know me, so I totally get that.
And that's the thing. I never do the cake recipe for the why with people unless it's on the phone. For that reason. And it's like, if they don't want to get on the phone, well, I'm like, sweet, that's okay. Well, I'm just like, hey, look, if you just want the prices and stuff like that, because you never know, you might send her the price. She's like, okay, ultimate pack, that's the one I want.
Yeah.
And you're like, shit, okay, I've been asking her all these questions. And she's like,
so you wouldn't even go through, like, given your goals and that you want to lose 20 kgs, I'd recommend XYZ. You'd literally just send the price list?
Different scenarios. So if someone didn't want to get on the phone with me and all they wanted, like in your situation, she doesn't want to get on the phone, she doesn't want to answer your questions, all she wants to do.
She did start to answer questions though, sorry, I forgot to mention that. So I asked permission, shared my story, and then she just went, well, after a bit of questions.
So, but like if she said at the start, okay, all I want is like the products and the pricing, I'll just say, oh yeah, sweet, here they go. I was just trying to get a better, and I'll just say, look, I'm just trying to get a better gauge on how I can help you, on how I can serve you better. Because that's the number one thing is like, if someone hasn't asked for products and prices, and find out their why a bit more. But like, if they just say straight up, hey, can you just send me the price list? I'm looking to get started on that thing. Who might have stopped them from sending the price list to them? If she just wants the products, guys, if you need to go, jump off. Thank you so much for being on the call. And we'll see us later. But all I was going to say is so if she wants that, just
Yeah,
Just send it to her.
I would just send it to her. Send her the weight loss. I just send her all the price list and just say, if you need any questions answered about the products, then or about the price list, then let me know and I can tell you more. But here it is, because there's just no point, and she will go elsewhere.
Well, I mean, like, she could, I don't know who the other person is from work, but she could go to this other person. And I guess for me, it was just like not even a matter of getting a sale. It was that I'm talking to a mum of 3 who's saying she's busy and tired and doesn't have time to exercise and doesn't have time to get on the phone. And I'm like voice messaging her with my stepson in the background, really wanting to make a difference to her, because I've only got a taste of what it's like to be that tired. And then for her to feel like I was being some sort of salesy person, which is like, I guess, where she was coming from. I was like, oh, but it's all learning and I get that. So I'll just send her and say.
Sometimes we assume the worst as well. Like, never assume that that's how she was thinking, she probably knows that you were just like trying to find out what her goals are and stuff like that. It's just, she just really just wants the prices. She probably
just wants the products and the results ASAP, like boom.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know, like, that could be it. You don't, it's hard to know if you can't, but and in every other circumstance, it's like so good what you did. It's like to care that much and to want to help them that much. It's awesome. And I guess like now, just the way that you can really help is just by getting her started, and then you may be able send her the price list. If she wants to get started, then that's when you may then start to build that connection and that friendship, and you might start to open up to her a bit more.
And I just what Alicia said, it's nothing. It's just where she's at. It's nothing to do with it. And
no, totally. And if she does, like, it sounds.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, honestly, the number one thing to do is get people started, because you can go into their goals and whys and everything after they're started. Like, if they
I just had this concern that if I sent the prices, she'd be a no, but I need to give that up. Like, if I've done it before and people go, that's too much money, and then I try to get to their why, I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. So I didn't do that this time. Well, and it didn't work, but it's not going to be the same for everyone.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, I just say if someone says to me, oh, look, can I have a look at the price list? I really want to get started on that thing that you're doing. I'm just like, sweet, here's the price list. Have a look and get back to me. And they come back to me and say, oh, no, it's too costly or whatever. Well, I just said, well, what price are you putting on your health? Or like, you came to me for a specific reason. What is that reason? Why did you come to me in the first place? Like, if you weren't actually serious about your goals, why did you come to me? People are like, oh, no, I am serious about my goals. I'm just not $700 serious about my goals. I'm like, sweet.
Later.
Yeah.
Because, like, honestly, dude, like, this is a life-changing system you're offering someone. And someone, they're mucking you around with, like, something that could potentially change their life because of, whatever they got going on. That's fine. Like, that's fine. But you've got other people to talk to as well. So it's kind of like,
and he doesn't piss around. He's pretty straight. But I think like this business,
they'll come back one day.
Yeah, they'll come back. They will. I've had that. Like, just wait. But I think this business is so trial and error. Like you've had those experiences where you've told them the prices first, and then you've mixed it around. And then, every situation, every conversation you're going to learn from. And, you're going to get to, like, knowing kind of more how people work and, like, what works for you. And then, I think, like, it changes every person. But I think that, the more experience you get, the better, like, you'll know kind of like how to handle it, or you'll be able to say, oh, this happened last time, so I'll try that again because it worked. She seems like the same kind of person as who I was talking to 6 months ago, so it's just such a trial and error business. It's just like just sticking in there, like just keep on going, doing it
and not making yourself wrong.
Can I say something as well? Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely, Heather.
Hello.
So I just want to say, Nat, when I first got started, this is like no offense to you or anything, Vanessa, but when Vanessa put me in a three-way call with Sam, I was like so not interested in that because I already wanted to do it. So it was almost like I was being, like oversold what it was. And for me, I was already ready to make a change. And I think for some people, they're just, like Leash said, we some people are just ready and some people are not. And some people can, like, literally just want the prices because they just want an idea. From my own experience, I also think if people are not ready to get on the phone, then they're not really that committed to begin with. So I wouldn't invest a whole lot of energy in people that aren't willing to get on the phone, because you need to make your time valuable. So at the start, I know for me, I was really, desperate to make everyone have the best experience and, quite attached to the outcome, and got kind of offended, in your situation, like what you said, because you just want to help the person. But at the end of the day, like, if you make your time worth value, then they're kind of more willing to get on the phone. Like, if you sort of word it in a way like, I could fit in a call with you at this time, does that suit, or something like that, rather than being like, when suits you to call, when can I talk to you? And I think that vibe just completely changes someone's opinion.
Yeah.
And you always
Does that help at all?
No, that's awesome. Yeah. I mean, yes, not no. I'm cleansing. I'm like, oh.
And that's the thing, like, and that was a perfect example, Heather, because, like, for me, I was just kind of, when Heather contacted me, that was when I was first starting off, and it was like really drummed in three-way calls from the start, which is awesome. And I think, like, it's so good to do those. But now I'm at the point of, if someone contacts me like, oh, I just want to get started, and I'll just talk to them myself, and tell them a bit more myself. So I think it's all kind of like a learning experience, and you just like fail and then fail forward, and then people, and it's so good because, like, that's why like your business partners are amazing, because they give you that kind of feedback, and so for the next time what not to do or what to do.
Totally. So she's not got back to me, but I'm just thinking I'll just send her the price list and say, have a look at these and let me know if there's anything I can help you with, if you've got any questions.
I'll just say, like, here's the price list. Get back to me when you're ready. Sorry, I was just trying to serve you the best I could by finding out what your goals were, what you were the most, why you want to do it.
Another thing that I say to people is, when I send them the price list, if they're not willing to get on the phone, I just say these are like the packs that most people get started on. If these don't fit within your budget, let me know and we'll see what, we'll go from there. Because then it's like, then you are kind of already overcoming that objection of, how they don't reply sometimes when you send them the price list, then you've given them an out. If that doesn't work, you're saying there's still another option.
Yeah, I'm
so
writing
then
that down.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm like taking notes.
Yeah, that's what I always say to people, because then it doesn't leave it like closed. It's not a closed conversation, or people just reject you and then never get back to you again.
And
I've never done that.
Really basic, but I've never sent a price list. Where is it? Just online? Like, I've looked at it myself, but would I send them that attachment from in the back office?
Yeah, back office.
I've seen it in there, but can you send that as an attachment?
Yeah, you just got to download it, and then you can send it on Messenger. You can send it,
or print
or
screen
computer.
it.
Yeah, or you can just take a photo of it.
Yeah, I just print screen usually and just send that, because then it comes in your photos.
So many learnings.
It's in your back office under, might be under orders, or
I've definitely seen it. I just didn't know you could, because I usually send people the 2 packs. But that's so helpful. Thank you.
No, cool.
No worries.
Ooh.
That's why these calls are so good.
Totally. Thank you so much.
No worries.
Sorry, I just realized.
So you live in